Well, buying a home is one of the biggest decisions you can make, but a lack of supply has complicated the process for many. Mitch Legan reports.
A year ago, the average house in Monroe County went for $266,000. Today, the average sale price is $303,000. It's a seller's dream and has been a nightmare for many buyers. But realtor Steve Smith says it's simple economics.
That's supply and demand, and supply is low and demand is high, and that drives price up, and it's a little bit like a feeding frenzy.
The Indiana Association of Realtors says almost 50% fewer homes are for sale now compared to last year. In Monroe County, there are 150 fewer houses on the market, down 30%. Nearby Brown, Lawrence, and Morgan counties tell a similar story. The lack of supply, increased demand, record low mortgage rates, and pandemic lockdowns created the perfect housing frenzy. Buyers are doing just about everything to secure homes.
This came on the market at noon, I noticed it, and at 2 p.m. I was in the car driving down for a 7:30 p.m. showing and put the offer in at 10 p.m.
Aiken lived in Chicago for decades, but began thinking during the pandemic of moving back home to Bloomington. When he bought his home in Chicago, he took his time and compared offers. That doesn't work today.
Back then you had negotiated and you threw in an offer below asking, of course, and then you worked it down. Here it's maybe you started asking, but if you really want it, you go above asking.
With potential buyers willing to go thousands over asking price, the median home price in the state has jumped more than $30,000 in the last year. Buyers are willing to pay cash, waive appraisals, even skip inspections.
It was just so crazy because you would go to these house viewings and there would be like 3 or 4 other families there at the same time, and there'd be real estate agents with their cell phones like doing virtual tours, and it was just crazy.
McGuire and her husband landed a house in Fishers after months of searching and are now packing up to move. She says they wouldn't have been able to outbid their competition. It was a handwritten letter that sealed the deal for them.
A real estate agent called us and she said, oh, well, they did receive, multiple offers. Yours was not the best, but they loved your letter and they want to, counter offer XYZ and they will give it to you. And it was just like, what?
But not everyone looking for a home will luck out with a letter. The serious price hikes and supply shortages are leaving many first-time or low-income buyers on the sidelines. The National Association of Realtors reported last month an underbuilding gap of nearly 6 million housing units since 2001.
You look at the inventory of homes on the market, something that's called month supply of inventory. Right now, that measure is below 1 month. And really the rule of thumb for an even housing market is about 6 months of supply.
Both Kinghorn and Smith agree the solution is more housing, but the price of building materials has increased since the pandemic. And with the market on fire as it is, it makes more sense financially to build more expensive homes.
We're starting to see more construction, and hopefully with that construction, we start to see it more at that kind of starter home end of the market rather than the higher end of the market, because that's really what we're going to need to kind of bring some normalcy back to the market.
Smith says if you're looking for a house, the key is patience and perseverance. The market has shown signs of possibly easing in the distant future, but it'll stay hot as the summer continues. For Indiana News Desk, I'm Mitch Legan.